to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. My apologies for being a few minutes late here. We were kind of immersed in some business. First of all, before we all get settled and everything, I have a very good friend who happens to be my deputy, has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Rich.
Happy birthday, Richie.
Don't clap for yourself.
No, I was born.
Happy birthday, dear Richie.
Happy birthday
Thank you.
Are you one? Are you two?
I'm 3 hours younger than Cal Ripken Jr. We're born on the same day. Thank you, Bob.
Public comment on agenda items. Anybody have anything? Public comment, agenda items. All right, we'll take one step further. Public comment on anything. Anybody have anything they want to bring up? Yes?
Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I want to take a couple of minutes to let people know about some things that are coming up. I specifically want to invite the entire board to the annual meeting and picnic that the Citizens Environmental Advisory Committee holds every year, and this year we're having it on September 12th at Brooks's. And we do try to talk about some business. We have some new leadership announcements to make and some plans, and then we're going to have some fun. So please, it's open to anybody who wants to attend and learn more. Second,
What time?
11 to 3.
Thank you.
Let's see. Okay, on the September 15th at the library from 2 to 6, Central Hudson is going to have what they're calling an Energy Savings Simplified program, where they're going to be discussing all kinds of energy assistance programs from both utilities, from the Cornell Cooperative Extension. There's energy advisors that work with the Cooperative Extension, and other support services will be there. So it's a great opportunity to learn about weatherizing as we get into winter. It's a good thing to know. The library is also participating with other local libraries in a program sponsored by it's called Home Boost Thermal Camera. And it's kind of, I don't really want to explain the technology, but it's a way of using your smartphone and plugging into their tech to really do a survey of pockets in your home where you're losing air, where you could benefit from some work. So those two things I'd like to just make sure everybody's aware of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
That was at Brooks's Park, right? Like last year?
Yes, sir.
So last year, there was a conflict. Someone else had booked the park, but we pulled it off anyway. So this year, it's us from 1 to 3 on September the 12th, 11 to 3 at Brooks's Park. The Citizens Environmental Advisory Committee is booked for Brooks's Park. Okay.
Okay. Ma'am?
Questions as well? Questions as well?
Yes.
Just a quick question.
President of the Highlanders, thank you, welcome.
Thank you so much. Jeanette Scott, resident of Highland Falls. I just wanted to find out any updates on the dial-a-bus.
Rich?
You want it now, or am I talking my liaison?
Well, I didn't see it on the agenda. That's the only reason I was asking.
No, well, that's part of my liaison report.
Then I
You're gonna
can
have to let
wait.
me go to my notes, all right? So, dial bus. Had a few people ask me about it. Michael is doing an excellent job as their liaison in his assignment, and I'm happy to, what am I saying? Oh, so what's going on? Our 2-year-old dial bus had a problem which required a part that was on national back order, rear end. We already stated that a particular vehicle is out in Goshen at a specialized truck dealership, and there is reason to believe that will be back into service in the not-too-distant future. I've learned not to give a specific date. When I say not too distant, that means less than 2 weeks, but more than a day, okay? So that's that bus. Now, as for the 2017 dollar bus that we purchased from the county for $1, is that what we paid for it, or just free? Just free, okay, all right. That bus is in Newburgh, and that bus had some things wrong with it. So our mechanic, Chris, went up there today to do some repairs on it. It also needs an exhaust system. He'll do that here when they drive it down here. I'm not sure the status of the registration, all that other stuff. That's June's department. So when we get the registration and the insurance and all that stuff, they'll slap a set of plates on it, they'll bring it down here. And now the subject came up of decals. The county does the decaling, okay? Or they provide them to us. If it doesn't have the proper decals on it, it will not pass the DOT inspection. The DOT sends somebody to do that inspection. We don't. So that's how the dial bus works. So to answer that question, it's in Newburgh, it's ready to go, pending all the things I just told you. And as far as getting a DOT inspection, I think they'll come within a day or two. And so the county has decaled. We got a new one 2 years ago. They had a decal for Curious Joel. We had to send it back, and they had to put them back and have ours put on there. So I know we can do it. We can get them made up, but I can tell you until the decals are on, it's not going to pass the DOT inspection. So that's where we're at with the old one. So it could be 3 days from now, or it could be next week. So we're going to have 2 of them for the rest of the year at least, once we get them both going. That's my best answer, Janet.
Excuse me, Councilmember Sullivan. I did send you an email today that the bus is completely insured and registered.
Okay, so they're all set. It's on them now. They'll go get it tomorrow, bring it down here, and get the DOT inspection. And I can't answer right now if it'll be ready by Wednesday. It could be.
Okay, all right, that sounds great. So now that you have 2 buses, I know in the past there used to be a dial bus that would go to Monroe or Newburgh for people to go shopping, Christmas, go to the casino or a trip. Can that come back into play somehow?
So I did speak to Aaron about that. He said, if you speak with Ann Molina, she has a form to fill out, like a request for the bus, and just to give it to him.
I'm sorry, that's not what she means.
Right.
No.
Dial bus.
So the dial bus on Saturdays always went to Newburgh for everybody to go shopping. So that's what Jeanette's talking about, not a special trip.
Right. Right, there was also, we mentioned school bus.
Yes, that is possible, Jeanette.
Yeah, and Debbie also said she's willing to drive on Saturdays also.
So we have 2 buses and 2 part-time drivers. The rest is just money, so.
So that's wonderful. So how would we request that? You'll get a protocol together once the buses are up and running and all that?
I'll get with you.
Perfect. Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gene.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'd like to welcome our 2 members of the village board, Peter and Alina. Welcome to us. Okay. Approval of previous minutes. I have the minutes. It's almost like a book here. There's a lot of stuff here. August the 10th meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried, thank you. I transferred communications. I don't have anything special. Although I know there's things out there. I transferred $49,873 from the consolidated account to the paying account to cover this week's check run. The larger items were Orange and Rockland for $9,424, legal service $9,385, West Point tours for recreation trips in 2026, $6,875, Goosetown Communications for ambulance radio parts, $4,030. And BRI Environmental Services for water testing, $3,900. And the board liaison reports, beginning with Nancy. Nancy Sporga, please.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The only meeting that we've had that I was at since our last board meeting was for the Consolidated Planning Board, and that took place last Thursday. And there was a public hearing for Mr. Kelleher's property, which is 3 lots down here between there, and there was no public comment on that. Subject to some coordination with the village because there's some drainage and it backs onto parking lot 2 or parking 1 here. So there's a little bit of coordination, but it's moving on. It's going to be a multi-use building. It's going to have, I think, parking like that, so it's going to be tiered, right? The actual basement's going to be on the parking lot. It's going to be at the parking lot level, and then at sidewalk level, it starts with commercial building, and then a number of residential pieces above that. 5? 6. So 6 apartments above that. So we look forward to that. He seemed to have everything squared away. So that was, and then they talked about some, which also was in coordination with the village, some drainage in Ondeora Park. So Ondeora or Cragston? No, in Hudson Drive in Ondeora, right? Doing some lot line changes to accommodate some village drainage down there. And that is it for meetings. I just want to remind you that the back-to-school block party is this Saturday, the 29th, from 2 to 5 p.m. in front of St. John's Church on Muller Avenue. It's usually a lot of fun. We have a good time. There's DJ, there's Bouncy House. The Buffalo Soldier Motorcycle Club comes in with all their stuff and brings backpacks and school supplies, and the church supplies some hamburgers and hot dogs, and it's just a lot of fun for a couple of hours. So celebrate the kind of the last hurrah of summer. And that, again, is this Saturday from 2 to 5. The Great American 4th of July do-over is coming up on Sunday, September 6th. Everything, there's no parade. We are still doing fireworks and some activities that will be at Roe Park on Sunday. Games and that begin at 4 p.m., so there will be the Grand Marshal announcement at 4. Then bike, stroller, and wagon decorating contest. A couple of tug-of-wars between the Fort Montgomery and Highland Falls Fire Departments and the police departments that are on schedule for that. Pie eating contest and a youth watermelon eating contest. And there will be some basketball games, food trucks, vendors. So any vendors who are out there that are listening to this or see that, we are happy to invite anybody who wants to come to be a vendor for that. Fireworks, because again, it's later on in the season, will begin at 8 p.m. That's right, because it gets dark a little earlier in September. And I think that's what I have, so.
That's all?
I'm sorry.
That's all that's going on. What about the ambulance corps?
We did all their calls, so I did that at the last meeting. Oh, yeah. Sorry, thank you, Michael. So last week, there was Senior Recognition Day, or Older Americans Recognition Day, down at Lou Ritchie's. And we had a very nice program. So Debbie McCabe was honored, one of our dial-a-bus drivers. Mike and Sue Slapp were honored. Joe Cullilori was honored, and Mary Lou and Kenny Conley were also honored. And it was very nice. We had a nice time. It was really a good time to just be together and recognize some people. There were 40-some people. 47, so close to 50 people that were there. Yeah. So that was a nice day. Now, I'm finished. Thank you.
What do you call a female MC? Is there a special name?
a mistress of
The
ceremony.
mistress MC was excellent. She was excellent.
Yeah, was Kristen, yeah.
I gotta say, you do a great job at stuff like that.
I just did one
You're an
presentation.
outshining tie. Since he's not here, I can say that.
So for the presentation, that was fun. It's nice when you get to honor people that you really like and know for a long time, so that was fun.
Michael, you're up.
Senior wellness.
Oh, yes, you can take that. When is it? Because I'm not going to be here the night.
September 19th.
Yes,
10 to 2, Holy Innocents Church,
correct.
right?
Yes.
I just have a couple things for the rec department. Rec was finished up, over 100 kids for the rec department, for the rec program this year. The summer track and field program that is led by Brian Fredrickson is coming to an end. Another incredible first-year program with a lot of kids participating. Soccer registration is open till this Friday. He has a good turnout already, but the more the merrier for the kids. You covered the 4th of July stuff. And that's about all for the rec department. The dial-a-bus, we hit that already. I'll get back to Mrs. Scott. That's all I got.
That's all you got. Thank you. Councilman Sullivan?
I have one
First
stat
page away.
that, Michael, thank you, Michael didn't cover. The dial-a-bus ridership for the last 3 weeks has been 0, okay? So that's, I'm not proud to say that, but, you know.
There's a waiting list.
Well, it's important, okay? And then, you know, we can philosophize on the whole thing. Years ago, it was 2/3 funded and 1/3 by the town. That has changed, but there's still 500 people a month riding it, and as far as I'm concerned, it's gonna stay going forever, so, you know.
Rich,
all right.
can I just say one more thing? Sorry.
Yeah.
At the senior wellness thing at the church in September, we're gonna try to have a table set up for the dial-a-bus. So, you know, I'll give out, I'm gonna be giving out pamphlets.
Okay.
Hopefully we can get the ridership up more.
Okay, very good. All right, so I'll try and abbreviate mine. Try. Water. Last week I had an incident up in Corbin Hill where somebody up on Eagle Crest called and said they have low pressure. Corbin Hill is the only place in our entire water system, village and town, where there's pumping involved, except for backwashing the filters at the plant. Everything else is gravity. So when the electric goes out up there, which it did, we had that problem over the winter, they call up, we can revalve it, so they get about 25 PSI, which is enough hardly to take a shower. And so I called Mike Perillo, and VRI went up, and due to the sense of urgency, I kind of like went up with my own meter and checked it, and I knew that one of the 3 phases, one of the legs was blown out. Orange and Rockland came 10 o'clock that night. I'm not sure what they did. It was back online the next morning, so that takes care of that. Our water usage last month and a half has been up quite a bit, and we know that there's a 15 to 20,000 gallon leak. I'm not going to say where. The amount of time that it's been happening has generated what I'm going to say is about $7,000 worth of lost revenue. So that account holder, it is imperative that we contact the person again and let them know the account's going to be shut off if something's not done by the end of the month. We can't let it linger anymore, and we know where it's at. Also, we had a lot of rain last month, and I want to just, the village people are here, and thank you all for being here. With their plant, when they get a lot of rain, it produces turbidity, not so much in the Glycerin Hollow side, but in the Highland Brook side. They have to shut down the plant for a day or 2 or 3 sometimes and feed off the water tanks when that happens. So, in doing all this, when they chlorinate, they can't chlorinate too high because it'll turn brown water up in the village. By the time it gets down to Fort Montgomery, by law, it has to be at least 2.2 milligrams per liter or 0.2 parts per million, do the same thing. And we generally have readings of about 0.31. So what I wanted to lead to is Dale talked to me and said, we're losing water and I think it's making water turn brown. I was like, well, We're using 90 to 95,000 gallons a day, now a little bit more. We have a contract for 150,000, and if we have to boost the chlorine, that goes up to 200,000 gallons a day. So as everybody moves forward in the village of Highland Falls, subtract 200,000 from your numbers, that's already guaranteed to the town of Highlands, okay? Just remember those numbers exist. We're not built out yet down there, and I said that to Dale, and he's been very cooperative at trying to find leaks and all that other stuff, and once we fix this one leak, we'll be back down below 85,000 gallons a day. Sewer, what do I have on sewer? I don't have a lot on sewer. The sludge building's budget time. The sludge building needed a roof last year. We used that money because the EPA was on our back about cameraing the pipes along the 9W corridor. We did that. It still needs a roof, so I had to put money into that. And up at Fawnwood is a little pump station. That's a 220. It's not three-phase. That's going to need a $10,000 plus rebuild. That'll have to go into next year's budget. With the building department, and I'm glad the village personnel are here, so I kind of sent their budget out to Kelly tonight, and it's a little bit iffy, because what we need to know, in the agreement, which is an excellent agreement, by the way, it has a provision that before December 31st, you have 90 days to say, we don't want to do this anymore. That doesn't help us now at budget time. Our budget's going in now. So I either have to scale back if the village is going to have a building inspector, or make the other guy full-time. The budget I submitted is to make the other guy full-time. We have time to cut that if need be. I sent Jimmy an email, I haven't heard back from him. I need some type of a handshake commitment telling us what you intend to do, so we can do what we have to do. There's no ego on my part, I'm just saying I got some decisions, we have decisions to make, and we need to know so we can make them. DPW, I have, okay, the dial bus already went over. Let me catch up here. Oh, so I sent out a report to everybody on the projection of what they're going to do for the rest of the year. And I know since FEMA and all that, they're busy. I just want to stat out, I went over for the last 10 years, how many catch basins they install in a typical year. The most they've ever done is 5. This year, so far, they've done 13. So wherever they're at, they're doing their work, they're getting stuff done, they have shortages of personnel, because we have a garbage truck go out of service, of which there are 2 of them right now. You have to dedicate a guy to a rear loader truck, so you lose personnel. So you have a DPW guy goes to sanitation, and that hurts the crew. But they have work to do on Mine Dock Road, on Mine Road's going to get paved, and some other projects. I sent that out to everybody with a timeline schedule, including down at the sewer plant. And then after that's over with, our DPW superintendent's going to be retiring, okay? So the dial bus we went over. The senior luncheon, Nancy went over that. I attended that also. I had, they were all great. Joe Carlori, Kenny, Mary Lou Connolly, Debbie McCabe, Mike and Sue Slapp are my neighbors, so I had the pleasure of giving them their certificates. So that was a lot of fun. Emergency preparedness, and Olga was there, and the chief was there. Last Friday at noon, I had a little bit of spare time to go to that. Ty King chaired it for the most part. I think that was their 4th meeting. Jen was there, Tommy Armstrong, the assistant chief of Fort McGill was there, Jeff Gathers was there, Olga, Jeannie was there, and I think there's somebody I'm forgetting, there was someone else there. Kathy was there, okay? And so here's the notes that Ty sent me, because he's not here tonight. The public should be aware that Friday was our 4th meeting, and the initial goal was to formulate a solid committee to include all our leaders in emergency management roles, and use that time to identify, along with developing courses of action to mitigate man-made and natural disaster risk. Mickey Lee and Kurt Hahn kept detailed notes of the first meeting. The second and third meetings was low attendance, so no notes, and you thankfully kept notes on the last meeting. I have a little AI thing, so I recorded it and shared them. So we now have some new folks like Olga and Jeanette Scott, and I call you Jeannie after all these years, so I'm sorry about that. And upon having a very robust and fruitful discussion, that leads us to the next phase of our operation, which is to review and update our current disaster preparedness plan. Thank you all again for your teamwork. I'm going to deviate here for just a second, so that was Ty's notes. I had Jen and a few other people, so I rekindled kind of the cemetery committee. We're doing a lot, including actually physically laying out the cremain section of Eagle Valley. We're that far from having that done. We have 5 people that are paid, 4 of which are still alive, 1 of which is waiting for a spot up there to be created because it doesn't exist yet. The cemetery committee has brought to my attention that vandalism mostly at Highland Union. So the chief and we spoke about this, and I think you now have a patrol dedicated once a shift or whatever, taking a drive down there. And I think we're going to look to get some solar-powered lights to hang in a tree. A camera would be expensive. I have one, they cost money for the cellular service. So we're going to have it where if someone feels like trespassing, we're going to have a light come on and shine right on them up there to at least scare them off. There's a couple of recently, I'm saying within the last half year, old stones that have been broken. We're aware of it. The police department is aware of it. So that subject is known. The sit and chat comes back in September. They're all for the summer. And Mr. Frank Taylor will be the speaker on, I think it's September 2nd, will be the first Wednesday of the month. And his subject is George Washington, Your Backyard. He gave it at the library. It's a very high-end presentation. He put a lot of time into it. So that'll be at the American Legion Hall. They have them at 6 o'clock. On September the 2nd, whatever the first Wednesday of the month is. I think it's September the 2nd. All right? I've been asked to do a couple of them. I think I've done 4 or 5 of them. I was asked to do one in October. I'm not really sure if I'm going to be ready for it because in a fit of rage last month, I punched one of my iPads, so it's out of service. I got to get a new one and upload everything. This is the Towns. I didn't punch that one, but so if I'm ready, then I'll probably do it on Constitution Island or something like that. And with history, so I want to let everybody know that Ronnie Coffey let us know that she has been asked to do a presentation for the Association of Public Historians of New York State at the annual conference. The conference is in Utica, so she will not be here on Monday, September 28th. And she says, I think it's a great opportunity to network with other local historians and stimulate the interest in history in the town of Highlands and elsewhere. History's on fire. You have Peter here and you have Mark here. They're heavily involved with Woodbury and all those other places. There's just a ton of events. I went down to Long Pond Ironworks this weekend, which is down at the Monksville Reservoir, which is Baron Hanson Cleaver and Robert Ernstine built. They're still there. The ruins are there from 300 years ago, so it was pretty interesting. And finally, the Patriot Garden. So the 9/11 ceremony is only a few weeks away, and I and Olga and a few others have been about the only ones down there doing anything. 20 years ago when that whole thing came together, because I was involved in that heavily, the police trailer used to be there. We made it so they moved away and went to the ambulance corps. And it was Vision that was pretty much doing everything. They wanted no part of highway guys touching flowers. They weed whack everything. So it was basically the Vision people that took care of that part of it. The town guys didn't even cut the grass in the beginning. Me and a few other people did. We're not getting volunteers to show up. I've sent out emails, some of them assertive, and so there's the star itself isn't too bad, but there's 2 islands coming in that are loaded with spirea, and they have this, I call it thistle, cactus weed all over the place. I'm going to try and have it cleaned up for the ceremony. If anybody has any spare time, they can call me or Doris Lent, or maybe even Olga if she's willing to take a call. There's labor work to be done down there. And after this year, if we can't get volunteers to go, go there, I'm gonna recommend that those spirea be removed, we plant grass seed, and all the guys do is cut grass. No more plantings down there, except for the start point, which is a shame because there's, I think it was John Willis' son of the Boy Scout, Eagle Scout project, all those brick pavers are down there. The Olivias have a bunch of them down there with their names on it, and it's starting to fall into a state of disrepair, and so this, I think, is the 20 or 21st year it's existed. We'll have the ceremony, and we'll have it looking nice, but as we go forward, we need some people to step up, because all the old people have no one to pass the torch to in a great number of organizations. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Chief?
Just the police car.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Supervisor. Chief, is there anything that you would like to report from yesterday?
No.
Are you sure?
The
From the
West
race?
Point Rotary Club had their 5K and 10K, and it was very well attended.
Attended by the chief who won his age bracket for the 5K. So.
Very good, very good.
Which is what, over 70 or?
Anyway, the police department would like to buy a 2026 Dodge Durango.
Excuse me, Supervisor, Chief had some revised numbers.
Uh-oh, okay, I hope they're good numbers.
They're high.
Okay.
So the total purchase price for the vehicle is $66,713.61. All of the add-ons, as in, the lettering, the radios, the computers, all that jazz, is an additional $20,856.53. So I'd be asking the board to take $42,570.14 from our equipment line and the additional $45,000 from our reserve line for the vehicle.
42 and 45, right? 42 and 45.
$42,570 out of the equipment line,
Yeah.
and then $45,000 out of the reserve line.
Do I have a motion from the board to move that money?
As stated, motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
And now you don't have to race, you can just use your card, your new card. Okay, I understand last week there was more than rumors of ice being in our town. And I just felt it's worthy to mention that the Orange County Legislature proposed a resolution which urging the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to halt plans for a proposed processing and/or detention facility in Newburgh, and reiterating it is vehement opposition to the establishment of such facilities within the county of Orange. I think I saw on somewhere, I think it was maybe Facebook, that someone said, oh, don't worry about that, we found a good place in New Windsor. More than that, I don't know where it is or who put that on, but it was on, I'm pretty sure it was on Facebook. So anyway, the county is telling our federal government, come on now, just leave us alone, we don't want it.
Are they looking for a resolution of support, or that's just an informative thing?
That was their resolution, so, and no, they haven't asked for a resolution of support, but if they get to this thing in New Windsor, well, maybe we'll ask Justin to do a resolution for us. Okay, I've been banging my head against the wall here for a while, having to do with our court. Not that they're doing anything wrong, trust me. The special counsel and chief administrative judge of the state of New York, 9th Judicial District, visited our court. They came up with some recommendations, and a number of the recommendations, that's why we were a little bit late downstairs, we brought up at an executive session. I spent almost 2 hours, which I'll never get back in my life, but it was a good 2 hours, with Ariel Bryant, who is the special counsel to town and village courts in the 9th Judicial District. She had some recommendations, passed them on to me as town supervisor. I passed them on to the board. First of all, she suggested that we have what was the title? Chief Administrative Clerk for our court. We don't have that title right now, presently, and I'm not sure if we can get that title. Kelly is going to check into the county to see if that is a title that we are allowed to use, or we can still use the title, but it would be an in-house title, such as police department may have an in-house sergeant. This would be an in-house title. Eve Wyatt was recommended to take that job, and the town board thought that would be a good position for her. So I would ask the town board for a motion to make Eve Wyatt the chief court clerk for the town of Highlands at the pay of $26.39.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Michael, I didn't hear you say anything.
I said aye.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, okay. Another thing we need approval of, the court system wants to send a court clerk that is highly experienced and is a full-time court clerk in another place, but they want to send her down here to help our court clerk adjust to the new position, we'll call it. They want us to pay $30 an hour. This would be in the evenings, probably on a Friday evening, for 3 or 4 hours, and it would last until our budget lasts, when we run out of money, which we have approximately $11,000 to pay this. So I'll ask for a motion from the board to allow us to hire a per diem clerk at the $30 an hour for 3 or 4 hours per night, per Friday night, and until our budget runs dry.
That's $30 an hour per diem, no benefits, just a raw $30 an hour.
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried, thank you. Just as a note, they are also going to send down a judge to work with our judges. This would be at the cost of $400 a day, which the 9th judicial system will pick up that cost.
Supervisor, just one thing, I have to create the position of the county.
Sorry?
I have to create the position of the county for the per diem court clerk,
Okay, all right.
so I'll do that tomorrow.
So we'll add that to the motion, but once created, then we'll hire them at $30 an hour. Okay, did I miss anything on that? Don't think I did.
Right, the other court.
Excuse me? Oh, yeah, well, that's on my, we'll get there, thank you, though, thank you. I have a town police officer that has resigned. Please accept this letter as a formal notification of my resignation from the position as police officer within the town of Highlands Police Department, Shield number 147, effective immediately as of August the 20th. I wish you and the members of, this is to the chief, by the way, I wish you and the members of the Town of Highlands Police Department continued success. Please let me know if there are any additional steps that I have to do. Respectfully, Nicholas Vasios. I will ask for a motion to accept the resignation.
Motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried, thank you. Okay, where is that? I don't have the letter, but Debbie, Debbie McLeod is recommended to be a court clerk from our two judges. So I'm asking to hire her at the salary, as listed in the salary schedule. 1-year probation. I'll ask for a motion to hire Deborah.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried, okay. What happened to that one? And let's see what else we have here. Hiring a court clerk, resignation. I think I got everything. Is there anything I missed, town board?
I think you covered everything.
Town board, anything else? Anything else?
I got a couple things from Ann Molina, I forgot. The Hudson Valley Women's Association and Friends, they present the Ark Encounter and Creation Museum, May 10th to 15th, 2027. It's 6 days, 5 nights for $740. You can call Ann Molina at 446-5983. The Senior Wellness Fair, Saturday, October 24th, doing a day trip down to the 9/11 Museum in New York City. Luncheon at the Dallas Barbecue and the Hershey's Chocolate Tour in Times Square. 8 a.m. departure from 353 Main Street, 5 o'clock return in the afternoon. It's $145 a person. And the 2026 chili cook-off on October 9th at the Church of the Holy Innocents, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Reach out to Ann Molina to enter your chili. That's it.
Thank you. Final public comment, anybody? Anything? Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to, number one, I just want to thank my fellow village board members for being here. If it's not one of us, it's all of us being here. And it's important that we all kind of support each other. And we appreciate you guys coming to the village board meetings just to, support us too. It's a tough time right now. We're really kind of navigating things. And to come without insult and really support us is really important. I just want to echo with Rich is with the emergency preparedness, the one thing that I did want to mention is that one of the components that we talked about was our seniors getting on board with getting on the Safe Meet program or getting on the morning program with the police department. Just call in. I know Jeanette Scott and Olga, I've actually called them out on Facebook if anyone wants to contact them. If you're vulnerable, if you live alone, if you have medical compromise, it's a good list that we have, again, because the fire department and the police officers don't always know. So if power and things like that go out, it's good for us to have a list. Wyant Green, we've already actually coordinated with the office there at point after the flood so the office will call us if there's anybody that's really in need or the electric goes out, so we don't have an issue where we don't know, and all that kind of goes on Facebook. So that's just what I wanted to add to that, and I appreciate Rich. Thanks for coming to the meeting. It's important, and we do have monthly meetings, so anybody who wants to be involved in that, please come out.
Justin, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Tomorrow night, there's a meeting of the Orange County Supervisors and Mayors Association right across the street at Rusty's. If anybody cares to go,
You know, I did want to mention that, because it's super important. It's been a long time since we've had that meeting here in the village of Town of Highland Falls, and it's good because all the communities come out and they get to hear about what we're doing, not us just going out and seeing what we're doing. They get to see Westies, they get to see our progress, and there's a lot of conversation to be had, so you guys can come out, and it's super important.
It has been a long time, so we had one in town, I'm going to say 15, 20 years ago. I happened to be president at the time, and I had it at my place. But, so now it's in town, it's nice, I was glad to see that, I was glad to see
It's
it.
about 70 people from all around the county.
Inga had one at the park back when she was supervisor.
Oh, did she, yeah?
Going
Oh,
to it, yeah.
okay, good. You got a, I shouldn't even say that.
I know.
Well, I can't make tomorrow night because I'm going to the library to subject myself to meditative bowl therapy, so maybe I won't punch my iPads in the future, okay?
So, since you're the birthday boy, you can make the motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
Thank you
Thank you. Thank you all for coming.